Welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to make prints and then dimension those prints from a drawing that we've already created. And those are useful for not only manufacturing the object, but as we'll learn in a couple weeks, we can use those prints to export directly to something like a CNC machine. So we're going to draw a print of our Lego block. So I'm just going to, so you can see that here, and this is what our print's going to look like. So we're going to just open the drawing because first we need to set up like what type of paper and such that we are going to be using for this drawing. So I hit the drawing and it should load here in a second. And then it's going to ask me basically what type of standards that I want to use. Yours probably comes in with this clicked and the ISOs operating, but we want to print it on basically 8.5 by 11 paper. And that's going to be the A ANSI paper is basically 8.5 by 11. It says here that it's 279.4 by 215, which is 11.7 inches by 8.5 inches. So basically, if you want to print it on a standard piece of paper, that is the paper we want. And we can always change that later if we need to. So for now, uncheck the only show standard formats. That should bring up the ANSI. So again, American, I forgot what it stands for. So ANSI standard for paper. And we want to make sure that the paper is set up correctly first. So I'm going to move this guy off to the side. And I'm going to close them all of you. We're going to bring that back. Okay. So now we want to finish setting up the paper. So when we make a print, we have important things in here like the name of the part and the drawing and the author. So to set that up, we want to go up into to do that, we want to go up into file and then go all the way down to properties. So if you're not expanded, so it could look like this, where it's not visible, just go up to where it says SolidWorks and kind of hover over it and do file and then properties, and it brings up our property menu. You're probably over here in the summary menu. We don't really need to put anything in there. You can put your name in here if you want, but it doesn't really populate any of those fields. And then here we want to go into custom, and basically these will automatically populate the fields in the window. So the first one we want, let's see what we have here. These are all the different things that we could put in, and you can populate as many of these as you want. So there should be a drawn by. So drawn by, and this is just really for initials. So I'm just going to put my initials in there because it's just a small field. And then I want description is, we're going to do the 2x1 Lego block is the description of the object I'm working on, and then the company name. So this is where you would put your company name, whoever you're working for, and a lot of these would be populated by the program that you have. There's company name. So here we're going to put Loras College, or you can say ABC Engineering, or you can make up a company name. Hit OK, and you can see Loras College is up here. My initials are in this field. So now we have our title block of our drawing populated. Now we're going to go ahead and add our model. So we go into the drawing and model view, and it'll pop up the window we had before. And if your Lego block is already open, it will be in here in the open documents. Otherwise, we can browse for it. So we have all kinds of drawings at this point, but this is my Lego block. So I'm going to open that up, and then we're going to create multiple views. So here we want the top, isometric, front, side, and actually the bottom view. Since it has that cutout on the bottom, we're going to want that bottom view as well. So we could do all the views, the other side and the back as well if we wanted to, but we don't really need those because we can infer that information from the views that we have in there. And so you see these are blocks that appear where those views are going to be placed. So hit the check mark button now, and we have those views populated. Okay, and now they don't really quite fit. And the bottom view is overlapping our title blocks some, and we really can't get rid of our title block because that will be important information when this part is processed. So we want to go down here to the scale. See the scales down here, and we're going to set sheet properties, and we can go into here. Another way to get into it is if you go over here to sheet, select sheet, right click on that, and then hit properties, brings up the same window. And this is where we could change the type of paper, but we're going to change it to 4:1. And we could even name the sheet if we wanted to. I'm not going to bother. And we hit apply changes. That changes the scale a little bit, so we're more easily able to fit this all on. I can also pick up these views, and you notice that we want the side view always in line with the front view, so that will move together. And if I just hover over it, we get a little bit of an orange outline on it. And then we can move these things around to fit well on a piece of paper. Okay, so they're all look good now. Now we need to add the dimensions. To do that, I go up here to annotation and hit model items, and it will automatically add the dimensions. So here's some options. This one says, if I hover over it, that's the one we want selected. Come on. Mark for drawing. Then we can also add not mark for drawing. Really, this is the first one we want. Then we hit the check mark button. So we just hit yes, and it will throw in dimensions. Now these dimensions don't really follow any of our rules. They're kind of some dimensions that we can get started with, but we certainly need to make some adjustments and move them around to more advantageous locations that are easier to see. So here's where we want to remember our rules, that any dimension that could go between the two drawings, we want to that kind of reference both drawings. So I'm going to move the full 16 down here. If there's enough room, I might just get the 16 up there and then put the 4 there. Again, trying to make sure that it fits in between and not really covered up by anything. And the 5 is there. Okay, and we can make this a hidden line. So we can make the front view have hidden lines visible, which is a good idea when we do have those hidden lines. And so we've got to figure out how to dimension that, which view is the best one to dimension without dimensioning a hidden line if at all possible. And remember, cylinders, we want to dimension them, the positive cylinders we want to dimension when they're in the profile view. So we could do that in the front or the side. Here, I prefer the slide because it's a little less complicated, and it kind of indicates when we do it on the side that both those cylinders are the same diameter. This dimension is for that hidden line, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. We're going to dimension that on that bottom view. And I don't know why that's 5. So you can just select a dimension that's a little bit redundant. And that is again for hidden line. Here's the height of the cylinder. So I want to put that between the two. And these are both kind of doing the same thing. So that's 2, that's 2. And we should have an overall height. So to add dimensions, when it doesn't automatically give them to us, I just use the Smart Dimension tool, and it works just like the Smart Dimension tool does when we're drawing. So here we have an overall height of 3. So that means that we got 2 up to that hidden line. So again, that's a hidden line. I might not want to put that there, but there's not really any better place to put it because there's no standard view where that's not a hidden line, since that's a kind of a carve out. So don't want that there. I don't know why this line looks like it's not a hidden line. So get out of Smart Dimension. Maybe it's just because it's how it's dimensions. I'm going to re-Smart Dimension that one. This and this. Hopefully that looks like a hidden line now. Okay, that looks a little bit better. That's clearly a hidden line. We got something in the middle here. And generally it's not advisable to, on this bottom view, to put the diameter of that hole inside the part, but if there's plenty of room, it's certainly something that can be done. Now I need to dimension the width of this material, and we can make a note that that's 1 all the way around, or we could dimension over here, that's also 1, just to make it absolutely clear that it's 1 all the way around. That looks pretty good. I think most things are dimensioned now. So we can go ahead and save our drawing. And again, go up here to File, Save As, and we can call it the print. So notice that it's a different file format. Type and hit save. And we're done.